What's going on, guys? Jedi here. Today we're going to be doing another steampunk lamp. These are a lot of fun. I love making these, and this one is extra special to me. The last one was special as well because it was a Father's Day gift, but this one is going to be special in a different way because it's going to be my boss's retirement gift. I work for my local gas company, and my boss is retiring, and I believe he's got 30 years in. So we're going to do something special for him. We all kind of came up with this together. I think it's a great idea, and I'm just honored to be the one that actually puts it together and does it, and then we will all present it to him. So like I said, these things are always super fun because you never really know what you're going to do with it until you just start tackling it. So I don't have a plan really for today other than just this little sketch I made. Basically, I'm not committing myself to this, but I wanted to go into this with some sort of idea of what I wanted it to look like and what are some of the things that I wanted to add to it. So here, this is the actual meter face, and instead of it being a meter reading, it's gonna read his date of retirement. I believe is what I'm gonna put right here. So I'm gonna tweak those numbers a little bit. That's why this says date. I'm going to order a clock, excuse me. And I'm gonna put that right here because I just feel like that'd be a cool addition to the lamp. And then these runs here of the piping, gosh, get out of my throat. These runs here, the piping are, like I said, I'm not committing myself to this. I'm gonna start putting some stuff together and see how it goes. This is a gauge, this is a gauge, this is a little valve. And these are the lights. As of right now, I'm hoping to get 3 lights on it. If it's starting to look a little bit crazy, then I'll scale it back. Who knows, we might just do 1. Right now I've got the the valve in the middle that's gonna be operating the switch to turn it on and off. If you saw my other video, I used a water spigot valve to operate the rotary switch. So I'll be ordering a little rotary switch. It'll be the same, probably the same type one that I ordered last time. And this here in the middle, I want to try to do something unique. And I actually saw another guy do it, so I will link to his video as well where I got this idea from. But this is a wine bottle, and the bottom is open and the light goes in the middle, and then this spiral right here is copper. So in a nutshell, this is kind of what I'm going for. There's going to be a USB port here somewhere at the bottom to charge your phone. So some fun little things like that. But these are the scraps, and this is another part that I just love about making these lamps, is it's pretty much free. I mean, you know, you can go to your local scrap yard, you can go to a pipe fitting company, you know, some places like that, and they always have scraps. So if you're not able to get things maybe as accessibly as I am, check those kind of places out. Any place that might be doing any kind of piping or plumbing or anything like that, and you can get the scraps and just make it fun. Put something together, make your base. Your base has to be heavy, and then everything from then on just comes together, and you can get creative with it. So like I said, as long as you have a heavy base, then you can just pipe, and then there you go. So just real quick, I mean, there's just a bunch of random stuff in here that we're gonna take a look at, maybe add. Obviously we're not adding all this stuff, but I got a bag, there's some paint in here, a few things that, you know, this is the wiring. I actually bought the wiring this time. This is just a little lamp kit. You can also get an old lamp like that one at your local Goodwill and just strip it down, use the wiring in it like I did in my last video. So anyway, lots of things here to work with. I'm not gonna show you every little thing. We're just gonna start putting some stuff together, see what it looks like, and then we'll change it if we need to. All right, so let's jump into the video. Okay, so I think we're officially done with the design that I'm gonna go with. There's a lot more detail going to take place here. We're going to clean a lot of things up. I'm not sure if all these fittings are going to face this way just yet, but as we get into it, we'll tweak it and add some details and it'll look a lot better. So coming in a little bit closer, these things right here are going to be for some details later. I'm going to add some of these gears on here. Not really sure yet where they're going to go. As I said before, we're going to change this to the proper date. In the middle of the meter here, we're going to add the skeleton clock. So I'm going to be cutting a hole out in the middle, adding that. We're going to have 3 lights here. So first light is going to be here. So we'll have, I wanted these flames to be facing upward because this is supposed to be like a gas lantern type deal. This is a gas meter. So I wanted some of the flames to be aiming upward like that. And then, so that's one light there. And then the next light is gonna go here. And then finally, if I can get this to work properly, we're gonna put this little wine bottle right here and clamp that in. And then this will be the third light. So that'll be the main light in the middle. One thing I forgot to mention, this valve right here is going to be the main switch to operate the lights. I ordered a couple rotary switches. You can find these on Amazon, and all they do is they just spin in a circle. So we're going to drill all this out, clean it out, and then we're going to secure the rotary switch to this valve. That way when you turn it, the lights come on. This being a retirement gift, I need to change these numbers. So what I want is I want these numbers to say 84 and these numbers to say 22 because he started in 84 and he's retiring in 22. So in order to do that, these biggest gears here are going to be what turns the dials. So that gear right there turns this one, this gear turns that one, and so on. So all I need to do is I need to strip the gear pegs back here somehow to make these freely turn. I want to try to maintain the integrity of this whole face. What I'm going to try to do right now is I'm going to try to cut this bracket away a little bit, get into these gear pegs, and see if I can't get those to freely turn. Okay, so I stripped this bar away right here. That will give me access to these gears. As you can see, it's already giving me a lot more freedom to turn these dials how I want to. Let's see, I had it going here a second ago. See, this one's already freely spinning. This one right here. So I think I can just pull these away a little bit, get them in the position I want, push them back into place, and then secure them with a little bit of glue. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do upon realizing what the internals of both of these water valves look like, I think I'm going to use this handle and take some of this apart, and I want to use this main piece right here because that is going to fit on top of that a lot better when I fuse that together. And I want that to be inside here. And then I want, I believe, to change that handle to this handle. So we'll try that, see how it works, and I may change my mind about the handle. Okay, so far we got the post out of this valve, and then this came from this valve. So now we can put the two together, and then I took the rubber washer out of this. That way we can make a good connection here. And then finally, all of this will be packed inside right here. So I'm gonna drill all that out, clean it up to where we can fit the switch inside, and then that way when we go to turn it, it'll turn freely like this, and then it will then turn the switch on and off. So in order to keep the switch from spinning around inside, I'm going to drill a set screw right through here, which is going to be this one right here. It's going to go right through there, and then it's going to screw into the switch just enough to hold it in place. That way when you turn it, it stays in place and it doesn't make these wires rub along the bottom side here. So I wanted to take a second and explain how the wiring is going to work. So I'm going to have 3 of these in total, like we talked about. but just for the sake of testing out everything and making sure it works properly, we're just gonna go to 1. So this is the switch that we put together. Switch right here, and then this is gonna go inside the valve. And we've got it sealed together right here, and it turns like it should. So that's gonna activate on and off. This is 2 pieces of lamp cord. So I have one right here and then one right here to give me plenty of slack. I'm probably gonna end up cutting a lot of this down, but you definitely wanna make sure you have plenty of slack. So one thing that a lot of people are gonna wonder about is when you have a lamp cord, which part is neutral and which part is hot. So the best way that you're gonna be able to tell that is every lamp cord has one piece of wire that has these little ridges on it, and you can take your fingernail and kind of rub it across, and there's gonna be a couple little ridges on it. And then the other one, you can rub it across and it's gonna be completely smooth. The one that has the little ridges on it is gonna be your neutral. And then the soft one is gonna be your hot wire. So what we're doing is we have the neutral wire coming in here, and then we have the hot wire where our switch is wired onto it. And then on here, we have, I'm just gonna pop this bottom side off. I already screwed it in, it didn't come like this. You can buy these separate at your local hardware store. This is obviously, I've got the tape on the hot wire, so that's a good way to keep track of what's hot and what's neutral. You've got your hot wire going to the brass screw, which is gonna be touching the bottom of the bulb. And then we have the neutral wire coming in to the side, which is the actual casing. So pretty simple. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put the bulb inside, we're gonna plug it in and make sure everything's working. Just plugged everything in and it's working perfectly. I checked the switch, it does turn on and off. So everything should be good. The only thing I'll have to do when I go to put this in the lamp is splice in 2 more bulbs. So you can see that I'm marking these wires as I go. That's gonna be very important because as you come through here and you're pushing this wire through the fittings, you are very easily could lose track of where you're at. So as you go, always keep, if you have some red electrical tape, always keep a piece on the hot wire. You can do black on the neutral wire. And as you go cutting the wire, it's gonna help you keep track and make sure you're splicing in to the right one and that you're not splicing the neutral into the hot. And then as you go tightening the fittings, you don't have to come back and loosen everything up to rewire. So just save yourself a lot of time and mark these wires as you go. So with the switch here in this valve, you can see where I've got it glued together with JB Weld, and I've set it in here. I've got the wires going out both sides. If I don't put this set screw in here, it's gonna spin too freely. So I drilled the hole right here. I've got this little flathead screw that's gonna go in place, and then I'm gonna screw it down, but I'm also gonna need to put a little hole in the threads of the switch. So I'm gonna follow my same hole right here with a drill bit, drill just enough into the switch, and then I'm gonna use this bit right here, which is a thread tapping bit. Same one I used right here. I just made some threads into it for this screw. I'm gonna hit that with just a couple of threads. That way, when I put this set screw in here, it'll screw not only into the valve body, but it's gonna screw just slightly into the switch also and hold it in place. So the wiring here might look a little confusing as I go through it. I'm gonna draw a diagram of how exactly I did it and show you later on. But the wiring back here that we did, the neutral and the hot are coming in behind. This is where the plug's gonna be for the phone charger. This is the front of the lamp. And we have, okay, so the neutral and hot are coming right through there. This is the top that I put on. Now I have neutral coming up through here, and I have the hot wire coming up right here, just like this. So this is where we're gonna put the switch. If you remember earlier, the switch is gonna be in the middle, the hot wire is gonna connect here. So that means every light bulb needs to be wired in after the switch. So if you remember, one light was gonna be here, one was gonna be in the middle, and one is gonna be down here. So this hot wire is gonna have to run to each bulb along with the neutral wire too. So we're coming through right here, we're gonna go up to each bulb and then probably come back around down to this bulb. This bulb right here is gonna be the trickiest one. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it all together, and then I'll show you the diagram of exactly how the wires came through the fittings. Okay, so originally I was just gonna put this face on and then the cover and that'd be it, but I decided to make a last minute change, and I actually think it'd be pretty neat if the meter face with the date on it was illuminated a little bit and that stayed on all the time. So luckily I keep LEDs around. I have a bag of these. You can find these on Amazon. They're really cheap, and I'll put a link below where to find these. But these are low voltage. The issue I ran into was, how would I power these safely and convert that 120, that's coming through to the lamp down to power these LEDs without blowing them or having to replace them. So what I came up with is most people have these cubes, and it's gonna convert it down to 5 volts, and that's good enough to run these that I have. So I'm just going to splice these inside the lamp, and then I'm going to wire them to this, which then I have this little plug here. It's an old charger plug. It's gonna plug in there. I'm gonna secure that real good, and then the 2 LEDs will run to that, and that will all be tucked in here, but it will be accessible if anything needs to be replaced. So these will go through the little holes I've drilled here, and they will illuminate in the background of the face. After wiring in those 2 LEDs, I realized that I wasn't getting the desired backlight that I wanted. So I just kept drilling more holes and adding more lights. and 8 LEDs is going to be the magic number. In the process of breaking this meter down and taking it apart, I actually ended up having to cut some of these screws out because they were just not coming out and they were stripping. So with that being said, I was about 10 screws short. So I went to the local hardware store and I matched up that black one with some of these brass ones because I thought that would look pretty cool to match some of the other brass I have going on here. So we're gonna try these out. So originally the plan I had was to use some sort of bottle like these to go right here, and I was going to put the light inside of the bottle. But I think I'm going to change that now, and I'm going to save this for another project. That's the beauty about these things, is you just kind of, you add as you go and you can tweak it as you go, but sometimes less is more. And in this case, these bottles are just not going to give me the look that I want, and not to mention these particular gas flickering bulbs that I have here aren't going to be bright enough. And it's not supposed to be a bright illuminating lamp, it's just supposed to be like a subtle type deal. So I'm not going to use the bottles. If you wanted to go the bottle route, you know, you just etch all the way around and then you dip from boiling water pot to an ice bath pot, and then it'll crack all the way around. That's an option. There's videos on how to do the bottle, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my plan, and I'm just going to keep it simple. And I like how this looks better anyways. So that'll wrap around this T right here, and then I'll just have the light secured right there, and it'll be facing down.